All right, everyone, I have noon on my clock where we are, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the final installment of the Share My Screen series on advanced content design. My name is Katrina Boylan, and I am the senior research writer at the Center for Injury Research and Policy at Nationwide Children's Hospital. I'm also the program coordinator for the Center for Injury Research, Translation, and Communication, also known as CERTC. If you're new, the Share My Screen series came out of our desire to help build communication skills in the public health and research workforce. And so we thought the best way to do this is to literally share our screens and show you what we're doing in our everyday health communication work. So each series is 3 parts long and focuses on a single topic. And so we are in the third of this series. So if you have not seen those first 2 sessions, the first one was on using ChatGPT for content creation. And the second one covered some of Canva's advanced design tools. Those are available on our YouTube channel, which you can find at CERTC_. So if you have not watched those, you can go to our YouTube channel to catch up on what we covered in those sessions. Our next series, which begins next month, is on accessibility for PowerPoint, Canva, and social media. So if you would like to learn how to incorporate more accessibility into your communications, and really we all should be, make sure you do sign up for that. And I will have the link for that at the end of this session. Okay, today we are going to build on, again, those previous 2 sessions by showing you how to take those designs that you've built in Canva and repurpose them and share them in different ways. So I will also just mention here that we do use Canva Pro, and many of the features are restricted to Pro accounts. So if you don't have a Pro account, I do think it's worth the investment personally, or if you are a nonprofit or an educator, they do offer free Pro accounts if you are a 501c3 or an educator. So check that out. Okay, our speaker today is my colleague, Katie Donovan, who is our digital communications specialist. So whenever you're ready, Katie, go ahead and share your screen.
All right. Hello. Like Katrina said, I'm Katie, and I'm another CERTC team member. I'm excited to have you all join me this afternoon. Today, like Katrina said, we're going to keep moving through our advanced content creation and put the finishing touches on our content, and explore the best practices of exporting and resizing. So we're going to run through the different types of files, the importance of file sizing, how to resize graphics, and the different export features that Canva offers. All right, so I'm gonna go and share my screen. All right. So we're gonna start with one of the graphics we made previously with the Magic Media feature on lawnmower safety for parents. So basically where we're going to start is we have created our graphic, we've put our finishing touches, we've made our carousel, and we've decided that we like to resize it for some different social media platforms. So nowadays, most social media platforms are pretty compatible with different sizes, but there is kind of a way, specific sizes for each platform that's kind of optimal when it shows up in your feed. So Canva has a really nice feature where you can resize these kind of with the resize tool. So we're gonna pick Instagram story and Twitter post, but they've got a ton of options. Like you can see here, they've got flyers. If you wanted like a YouTube thumbnail, they've got that. They've got Facebook. If you wanted like a LinkedIn header, like things can get pretty niche. So they've got a ton of options that you can kind of fit what you need. But we're going to explore the Instagram story and Twitter post options. So basically, I'm going to select those 2 here. I'm going to click continue, and then it'll go ahead and kind of preview what these will look like, which is nice. So as you can see, it kind of just takes your design and puts it on that file of the larger new file. So this was the Instagram story, and then this is what the Twitter post would look like. So we are going to go ahead and resize to these two designs. All right, so right away you can see that, you know, it's not kind of filling the full file. It's kind of staying in that square that was previously in the Instagram story or post. So when I resize graphics, I sometimes have to take a step back and kind of reimagine what this might look like. So although for our previous one, we kind of had everything left justified, we had a photo in the bottom image, that might not be the best case for every file. So we're going to start with Twitter, and basically what you could do here is you could drag this out to the side to meet that edge of the file, double click and kind of move around the photo. We could center this here so it looks more cohesive, make it larger, maybe even span it to be the full length. So it would look like this. And then maybe we'll center that here too, make sure everything's aligned. And we've got kind of a better looking Twitter graphic. But like I said earlier, sometimes I kind of have to take a step back and reimagine what this looks like. So although in the original design, we had things kind of top half, bottom half, this one might lend itself to maybe like a right side photo and then a left side text. So we could go ahead and take this here, drag it to the right side, drag it to the edge, have our text over here. Maybe we could left align it, play with the sizing here, maybe make it a little bigger, make sure it's centered. And there we got the Twitter graphic. So like I said, sometimes you kind of have to take a step back and reimagine what these look like. So then same thing here. We can make this larger, move this up here. We could even, you know, add a tap for more feature, because in Instagram stories, that's how, you know, you're seeing more information. So yeah, there's quite a few options here, and you know, every graphic isn't the same, but yeah, that is a nice feature that Canva has. So, all right, we have created our graphics and we are happy with finished product and we're ready to export. So I'm going to go over to my share button, then I'm going to click download. And as you can see, Canva gives you quite a few options for how you can save it. So a lot of different options, but kind of every time I'm exporting something, I like to ask myself, where will this be used? Because I think that'll inform how you save it. So I'm just going to kind of go down the list and give you guys a quick crash course on the best place to use each of these. So we'll start with JPEG and PNG. Most social media graphics should be this file. This is a file type that is compatible with most apps, programs, PowerPoints, Word, Excel. Usually if something's saved in a PNG, it can be pretty compatible with anything you need to use it for. So say another nice feature of Canva Pro is you can export things with a transparent background. So that is the difference between a PNG and a JPEG, is that PNGs can have a transparent background. So say you wanted to create a little button in Canva to use in your PowerPoint presentation to learn more. So I've created this little button. I got a circle and I got some text, and I want just this button to be exported, not the whole thing. So I could go ahead and right click, download this selection, click transparent background. And then I've got a nice circle that I can just upload into my presentation, onto my website, anything like that. So that's a nice feature to use for those kind of reasons. So then I'm going to talk a little bit about the file size and the importance of that. So one nice thing about PNG and JPEGs is Canva gives you the option to resize it. So say you upload your file and it's saying that it's too large, you could go ahead and scale it down a little bit. And then vice versa, if you want it to be a little bigger, you can do that. Important thing to note here is you'd think that large files equals good quality, right? Which sometimes can be the case, but larger files do take longer to load. So if you're hosting these graphics on a website page, you wouldn't want them to be super big because then it's going to take a pretty long time for the website to load. Same thing with a PowerPoint presentation. If you kind of drop a giant file on your PowerPoint slide, then the PowerPoint itself is going to be giant, and you can run into problems with emailing those, sending those. So that's a good thing to note. You kind of have to do the dance between file size and file quality. So Canva, the nice thing about Canva is they usually do take care of this for you, but you kind of got to keep an eye on it. So another thing to note really quickly is what can jack up your file size is an image. So if you have taken a photo on your camera and then directly use that file in your graphic, that's going to make the file pretty big too. So making sure that you export that file to be not as large, or even you could screenshot it if that meets your needs. But yeah, a couple ways to get around that, but something just to keep an eye on when you are exporting graphics. All right, so then we can move on to PDFs. So social media graphics shouldn't really be PDFs. They're probably not going to be compatible in most social media platforms. This is something that would be used in like an email attachment for a document, like a resource or a fact sheet. If you're trying to create something where you want to have a lot of hyperlinked links, something with clickable links, that would be a PDF. But yeah, usually you're not going to use a PDF for kind of embedding graphics in a presentation or social media. So basically you could do the PDF standard or the PDF print. It kind of outlines it for you here. One's better for printing and one's better for like a digital document. If you click here, this would be if I was printing this. So kind of the only thing to keep an eye on here is to make sure you choose the right color profile. Basically, CMYK is better for professional printing and RGB is best for digital use. Really, all that means is it kind of changes how the colors are printed and presented in the final product. And what you pick depends on how the colors kind of show up, if they're close enough to your actual graphic. So yeah, and then I think that is mostly it for PDFs. PDF standard, it kind of will just export it by yourself or by itself. So what else do we got? We got SVGs down the list. Oops. So SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphic. So this is something you're going to export in a vector format and it won't lose quality as you scale it larger. So this is something I would use, for example, if I'm going to download an element from Canva that I want to upload into Adobe Illustrator to get a closer look. See if I can like manipulate colors, match the design, alter the points on the graphic. So that's a little high level. Usually you don't have to get too in the weeds with that, but something that could be helpful to use an SVG for kind of not as high level is if you were going to print a logo or something on like a t-shirt or a cup or something like that, the designer might ask you for an SVG format. Basically, that just means they'll have your logo and they can scale it as large as they need to without losing quality. So you might not use SVGs as much, but yeah, that is kind of a lowdown on those. Then we have MP4 video. This is a cool feature Canva has where, say I have my Instagram story set and I want it to be a video. it'll basically save each of the slides to be in a video. You can change the duration of how long the slides each get. So this right now has 5 seconds. So you could kind of change that to be shorter, to be longer. And then you could upload that to Instagram, upload that to TikTok, and kind of make a reel with that. And you could add music, add any extra text you'd like, so you can edit that in app. So that's another way to use Canva content in social media. And then finally, we have GIFs, which that stands for graphics interchange format. Basically, that just will save everything as a GIF, similar to a video where everything's kind of has its own slide. But you can save it as a GIF. You can add animations, you can have it be static. Either way works. But yeah, I think that was kind of a quick rundown on the optimal way to save your files, and best practices of resizing in Canva. I know I ran through that a little quickly. I don't know if there's any questions in the chat. Um, but yeah, I think that was most of what I've
Okay.
today.
All right. Well, thank you, Katie, for walking us through those options. You know, as Katie said, I do. Oh, hang on. I think you're spotlighted. There we go. Okay. As Katie said, we really do use these options. We have, gosh, I think 3 or 4 different channels for things. And so, you know, I think about, you know, the promos for even this series, how many of those those features that I use just for that. So for those of you that are running multiple channels, I do think it is really nice. Again, if you've got the ability, if you've got Canva Pro to change it up for each of your channels, we do also want to follow kind of channel best practices, and this really helps us do that. So okay, I did make a note for anybody who didn't see the chat. This was, I just wanted to show in a recent example of a way that I have used the scale feature, which is I created the promo graphics for this webinar in, I think it was actually a presentation sized format. And so I needed something that was smaller size. My file was too large. And so I had to go down and I had to adjust that slider down to get something that would fit in that space. So, all right, let's see. I don't see any other questions in the chat. I know that this is sometimes a little more advanced. And so this could be the type of thing that if you go home or if you're sitting at your desk and you're trying this stuff out, if you've got questions that come up later, of course, feel free to ask. And again, we do have some previous segments on this that will build on this to help give you a more complete idea of how to use more advanced tools to improve your communications. Okay. Well, I'm not seeing anything come in, and honestly, if there are no questions, I am just going to share this final graphic here and say thank you all for attending here. We do want these sessions to be, you know, short and useful, so we're not going to just take up more of your time. But the next one is on accessibility, and if you are not adding accessible features to your presentations, to your social media, then this is something that I really encourage you to attend. Accessibility is something that we as public health professionals really need to make sure that we are incorporating into our daily work. Otherwise, we're leaving some communities behind. So we're going to start off with PowerPoint. Tracy's going to walk us through accessibility for PowerPoint. I'm going to take the second session on Canva's accessibility tools. And I'm going to have to look, but I think Canva's accessibility tools are also available on the free accounts, but I'm going to make sure of that. And then finally, we're going to wrap up with some accessibility for social media. So you can register. Again, Tracy's put that link in there. I will say if you are copying and pasting the capitalizations on bit.ly links, that's important. So make sure you get those capitals correct. All right. Well, if that's it then for this time, we'll let y'all go. But thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you for accessibility next time. Thanks for joining us. Looking for more HealthCom content? Check out all of our trainings and resources at cirtc.org.